I can't lie, even by Arsenal standards, this deal is taking forever. Where is Viktor Gyökeres? Is he in Mallorca? Is he in Portugal? Is he in London? Is he en route to Singapore? At this point, he's got to be making moves to Hong Kong, which is our second leg of our Asia tour. Better yet, it's best he just stays in London goalie, if I'm completely honest with you. No one knows, man. But yeah, it's been a long, dragged out saga. You would have seen at some point David Ornstein on the 22nd of July said we're on the verge of a total agreement. Things have accelerated since then, according to reports in Portugal. Arsenal and Sporting are exchanging the final documents to finalize the transfer of Viktor Gyökeres. On these legal details, these legal details are completed, Gyökeres' exit will be made official. Just hurry up and make it official. Big up Fabrizio Romano. Arsenal and Sporting checking documents with lawyers for every detail of Viktor Gyökeres deal, which you would expect in, the world of football, because whether you rate a footballer, not necessarily in Gyökeres' case, whether a guy's gone for 5 million, 100 million, 50 million, 60, 75, and in between, these are multi-million transactions. So naturally, after hours and days and what feels like years with every Arsenal transfer this window, people, the kind of bigger ones, if I'm honest, specifically Zubimendi and Gyökeres, you would imagine agents and advisors and accountants and lawyers and very smart people are, despite going through forever to negotiate, drawing up framework, or where in this case where Sporting and Arsenal are concerned, again, this is multi-million pounds transactions. They're checking every fine print, making sure everything makes sense. Medical will be booked right after. It was never going to be on Wednesday. No issue on that. Verbal agreement 100% done. Verbal agreement for obvious reasons does not mean much, especially in the case of Gyökeres. He had a verbal agreement to leave for a gentleman's agreement of 60 odd million quid, in which we've got around there to a degree. But I think this serves as a lesson. If it's not in cold-hearted writing, I's dotted, T's crossed on a piece of paper, in the world of business, it's all mad, people. Gyökeres to Arsenal is expected to be finalized today. Medical in London today. Sporting has accepted Arsenal's offer. Document exchange nearly complete, apparently. So good, I've got it twice up here. You can see I'm excited about Gyökeres, or even thrice. So yeah, emails have been exchanged. Other documents are being exchanged. Apparently, Eze's camp remains in contact with Arsenal, in which at some point, Arsenal and Eze's camp can be, in contact as much as they like. Do you want to play for Arsenal? What length of contract? Do you want to play for Mikel Arteta? Do you see yourself mixing in with the boys? Not that Arsenal needs selling. It's a big club, but selling that kind of carrot, Arsenal can have every willingness to go and get Eze, as we all know. But until you speak to the party that is the most important to this deal, Crystal Palace, it's a myth. We hear he's got 2 years left on his deal. We're all, well averse now on the 60 million release clause, 68 if you include the bonuses. There's rumors Crystal Palace are flexible and they will be open to 3 installments of 20 million. Personally, I understand every business wants to, you want to keep the costs low, or the outgoings low and the incomings high. Now, I don't think Arsenal are under any pressure with PSR. We make a big song and dance about that. The powder's been dry for about 20 million years, people. Give me a striker from Sweden. Sorry, ADHD coming up. But yeah, before I start going off on a tangent there, what I believe is a thing what I've always maintained, in that the bulk of the deals we're going to get done. Like, you've seen Kepa through the doors, you've Mendy through the door, Norgard through the door, quote unquote Mascara through the door. Anyways, Gyökeres, let's ban Gyökeres under a striker, whether it was going to be Sesko or Gyökeres. I think ideally everyone would have been on the plane to Singapore. Everything would have been done by now. Then I think there would have been a bit of a blackout period. Obviously, I would include Gabriel Jesus in this if he was fit, but give or take, it's not panned out that way. But Gabriel Jesus goals, one of Martinelli, if not both, Martinelli and Trossard, due to rumours. The Reece Nelsons, big him up for playing his first game in over a year against AC Milan. But Reece Nelson, Zinchenko, Lokonga, or at least the bulk of these guys would be gone, in addition to Jorginho, Partey and Tini. I only mentioned those guys' names because obviously we would have freed up some wages, would have got some money coming into the club, would have done the bulk of the incomings. Then when that's kind of done, then you see what you're playing around with, then you might circle back for an Eze. The issue around that is how long is Eze going to wait? Now, I'm sure he'll wait as long as possible, especially if we've, enticed him in his camp. But at some point, I don't know if other teams are interested, and he can give Arsenal priority as much as he wants. If he does want to make a move to a team playing in the Champions League, potentially competing for the bigger trophies, big up Crystal Palace, because they did something we didn't do last year of winning an FA Cup. You're going to have to say, I was on joining Arsenal. I'm open to joining Arsenal. It could not be done. I'm going elsewhere. Whoever that is, wherever that is, he's linked with Chelsea and Bayern Munich. Not quite sure with Chelsea because they buy a bunch of players, but they're getting Joel Hatter, which Saka, you need to cook him when he plays against you. But Xavi Simons, how many of these guys are they gonna get? I don't know, people. But yeah, Rodrygo to decide his future soon. No advanced talks yet. We know he's currently on holiday. So yeah, everybody is speaking and uttering the same things at this point with Gyökeres. Arsenal and Sporting are exchanging the final details to finalize the transfer of Gyökeres. Once these legal details are completed, Gyökeres' exit will be made official immediately. White smoke is imminent. I mean, we're all braced for the here we go. Arsenal plan to fly Gyökeres to Singapore on their pre-season tour for a medical ahead of his Sporting blockbuster move. People. Now, again, there's conflicting reports with that because some people are saying that, some are saying he's going to Hong Kong, some are saying he's going to stay in London. God knows what is going on in that regards, people. Now, there's a lot of conflicting stuff with Saliba. Arsenal closing on William Saliba contract despite agent disruption. You hear he's happy at the football club, but again, smash the like button, keep watching because, as I said, there's conflicting reports. Arsenal are closing in on a new long-term extension for William Saliba, with the club hopeful of tying the French defender down to fresh terms before the start of the 2025-26 season. That would be amazing, as well as if you throw in Saka, bring in Eze, got Gyökeres, dealt with the Miles Lewis-Skelly's, the Ethan Nwanery's, Gabriel Magalhaes new deals. Sources have indicated that there is growing confidence within the club that Saliba will sign a new 4-year deal, keeping him at the Emirates until 2029. Can we get an option of a fifth? And again, within that 4 to 5 year deal, if him and the Sakas and I would say Miles Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri, naturally, if they develop a couple of years into that, you're going to already negotiate the new contract from stronger terms. Because as much as we want Saliba and Bukayo Saka to sign new deals, it feels like just the other day we saw this. Do you remember? I wouldn't say the early days of Arteta Edu, but we all knew we was very incompetent with contracts. There was a point, I'm sure Saka, Saliba, Odegaard, Ben White, Magalhaes, even like we were just every day there was someone else signing extensions. It feels like I can still freshly remember that. In fact, I can kind of remember all the contract sagas with Saka, but you get the point, people. This would bring his contract in line with centre back Gabriel Magalhaes, who penned a similar extension in June. Obviously, again, knowing what we're playing around with, if you're William Saliba, if you're Bukayo Saka and these kind of guys, not that you're watching what other people are making at the football club, but if your agent and advisors know what's best for you, naturally, some of the players that are the top earners at the club, regardless of when they were signed, they earn a lot more than you. Are they more important than you? I don't know. And also, a football career is short. You know how important you are to the team. If we take it a bit deeper than that, shirt sales, image rights, you know what you mean to Arsenal beyond the obvious. Unfortunately, these things have become prevalent in football now. He's still linked with Real Madrid, people. Apparently, it's been fueled by his agent. I mean, the game's the game. Talks over Saliba's new contract have progressed in recent weeks, with negotiations ongoing between Arsenal and his reps. The Gunners are understood to be prioritizing the extension as part of their wider efforts to secure the long-term defensive core of the squad. You'd imagine that's done, assuming Saliba signs. That would be a new deal for Saliba, Magalhaes. Raya just came in the other day. Lewis-Skelly has signed a new deal. Calafiori's just come in. Kivior not sure on the length of his deal, but you'd imagine there's some flexibility. Mascara's just walked in. Ben White and Timber, Timber's just walked in. White's under contract for a couple of years. So I hear that, people. So yeah, people, it is what it is. I don't know when we're going to see any confirmation on this, but significantly, a source close to the situation told Football Transfers Gabriel's decision to commit his future to the club was influenced by conversations with Saliba. The Brazilian wanted clarity on Saliba's intentions before signing his own extension. I half believe that. Naturally, there's got to be some level of negotiations, but no two footballers are alike. They're slightly at different stages. Everyone's got a different career in it, so I don't think Gabriel Magalhaes signed the new deal primarily because Saliba has said that, and I don't think Saliba's decision is going to be influenced by Gabriel Magalhaes and that. It might be an added bonus that your other top players are committing their futures to the club. You're happy in London, you're happy in the team, you're enticed by finally getting over the line at Arsenal, but boy, there's a lot to consider, and Real Madrid comes calling. And if I'm honest, when I remove my Arsenal cap, if I'm Saliba, the longer this goes on and the more it drags, the stronger position you're on. We know Real Madrid is circling. We know you're a good player. We know there's the carrot of us not getting over the line. We know you've got a World Cup next season, at the end of next season to contest with. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on, people. Apparently, we faced a similar issue with his agent during his time at Marseille. Apparently, Edu had several heated moments. I mean, the agent's doing his job. You got to be difficult, people. Part Rodrygo off for a second, people. In fact, I might as well just carry on. We'll circle back on Saliba. Fabrizio Romano has urged patience in the future surrounding Rodrygo. Now, Arsenal, Spurs, even Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain, Barcelona, staying at Real Madrid, going to Saudi. There's everything in between. 1 minute Rodrygo wants to stay, then he wants to go, and as I said, everything in between. Apparently, there has been talk that Real Madrid feel they have too many attackers at the club and are willing to listen to offers. Obviously, you've got Mustantano, you've got Endrick, you've got Arda. I'm sure beyond the obvious, there must be a remit for Xabi Alonso to play them in tandem with the Mbappes, who've been given a number 10, Vinicius Jr., who's going through his own contract stuff. Rodrygo could be considered disposable, even though he's a quality player, if I'm honest. Liverpool have also been linked. Rumors are going to, even by Munich, but rumors are going to even ramp up more to Liverpool, especially if they get some money from Luis Diaz. Isaac apparently hasn't gone on tour for pre-season with Newcastle owing to an injury. I mean, the left wing spot at Arsenal is free. Give me a striker from Sweden. Can we see Isaac left wing with Gyökeres? I don't know, people. But on a serious note, Romano has said, at the moment, nothing is happening today or in this moment for Rodrygo. Why? Because the player is on holiday and his agents are talking to Real Madrid. They already had a meeting last week to just prepare their own position. In that meeting, from what I've heard, Real Madrid confirmed they're open to letting Rodrygo go. Now it's Rodrygo together with his agents who has to decide what he wants to do. Stay at Real Madrid, compete for a spot, or leave and explore all the options. What would you lot do if you was Rodrygo? Put your Arsenal or other team caps to the side. There are options in the Premier League. There are options also in other countries, including PSG, which Luis Enrique, that'd be amazing. There are several options eventually for Rodrygo, but at the moment, it's not an advanced negotiating club to club, not on the player side, because this has to start with Rodrygo. It's Rodrygo who has to go to Real Madrid and say, okay, I understand your position. I want to go. I want to leave. Give me the final price and I'll bring offers. So this depends on Rodrygo, and this is up to Rodrygo. So again, for all the clamour around his future, we have yet to see that. Gyökeres will finally complete his long-awaited move to Arsenal, with the Premier League giants finally reaching an agreement with Sporting. Again, according to the record, the deal for the 27-year-old is over 95% done. At this moment in time, brother, we just want you to hold the shirt now, man. Gyökeres, your dad, your advisors, your agents, Arsenal, we've done everything now. It just needs to be that. We've gone over the bonuses, people. Coventry are laughing because they're entitled to 10%. But I think we've all mentally checked out, not from Gyökeres, but from hearing about this. This is said William Saliba is pushing to join Real Madrid, who could make a big money move for their long-term target as early as this summer. Despite getting down Dean Howson, they're still linked with Ibrahim Konate, in which, you know, any top player that's contract is running down, you're going to get shook. The only person I've seen, you know, kind of resist the clutches of this is probably Alphonso Davies. And at least Mbappe for a second, but he still ended up over there. So, you know, if you got Konate, if you got William Saliba, if you got any half-decent player, you know, if Reece James was fit, despite what's going on with Trent, and Reece James never had the injury struggles, Chelsea fans, depending on his contract, might be going, ooh. So, yeah, the deal won't be easy, as Real Madrid are aware that the cost will be astronomical. Marca says Saliba is prepared to make a financial sacrifice by lowering his wages to try and make the move happen this summer. Saliba is keen to make the move and has still not signed a contract renewal with Arsenal, as his deal expires in 2027. Their initial plan had been to wait until he's in the final year of his contract before tabling an official bid, and this still seems to be the most likely event. RMC also claimed Real Madrid are prepared to make Saliba the most expensive defender in football history. Fair enough. So like I said, it depends where you read, people. You're going to see different stuff. I think we can quash the Xavi Simons stuff because it seems like he is going to Chelsea. Chelsea are advancing on personal terms. Just like Ibrahim Konate, William Saliba does not want to renew his contract as it stands. Real Madrid are keeping a close eye. His current contract ends in 2027. So conflicting stuff, ready to make a financial sacrifice to make the move happen. The Kroenke ownership prefer Arsenal to be fully responsible with no financial risk. However, Mikel Arteta has strongly and successfully argued to extend the budget this summer. So again, if you've got an extended budget, can there be any excuses?
Always